Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are featuring my buddy Ray, who is a brown belt instructor at Tillis Jiu-Jitsu out here in California, and he's also a law enforcement officer, so it's always nice to get former law enforcement officers going with current law enforcement officers. So right here I'm setting up the De La Hiva. I'm trying to get a full De La Hiva X position, but I'm not able to do so, and here I'm going to grab that lapel and try to get a shin on shin position. Ray is going to step over, which allows me to get into the X guard here. So right here, I'm trapping with my right arm on his knee. I'm using my right leg to hook his thigh. I'm using my left leg to hook his calf behind his knee area right here. And what I want to do from this position is extend him out, but he's able to kind of sit over the X guard and start trapping my legs, and now I'm in a very bad position. He's got the cross grip on my pants, and he's going to step his right leg over and get into the side control position, passing the guard here. So now I'm playing on the bottom of side control, which is a position that no one truly enjoys, if we're being honest, and I need to focus on building my frames. So with my right arm, I'm framing against his hip, and with my left arm, I'm framing against his neck, shoulder area, just trying to make it as uncomfortable as possible for him to control this side control. And what he's doing is feeding my lapel out and trying to trap my left arm. Now this is a position that I almost do exclusively from side control. From the top, I like to feed out the lapel and trap people's wrists and arms on their left side, so that arm is no longer able to give me any trouble. So what I'm doing with my left arm is I'm maneuvering it out of the way and making sure that he can't feed my lapel over the arm and take it out of the fight. And while I'm doing that, I'm also still building the frames, and he's trying to basically isolate my right arm away from my body to get a stronger and more dominant side control. But what I'm able to do now is I'm able to trap his feet into a half guard position, and what I'm going to do with my right arm is grab his pant leg and kind of toss his leg into my half guard, and now I can start building up the half guard and trying to get out of this position here. Now that I'm in this position, I'm going to try to frame him away and get into a half guard position. He's going to help me out by standing, allowing me to underhook his leg with my right arm and start setting up the deep half guard position. But he honestly is very, very smart with his right hand grip, because he's controlling my pant leg and stopping me from straightening his leg all the way out for the deep half that I need. Once I'm able to do that though, I'm going to try to come up on a sweep. He's going to stand up, and I'm going to get into a single leg position. He's going to kick his leg out, and now we're both going to end up standing. So that was a nice little transition there from getting out of side control into the half guard position into a standing position where I'm no longer, being dominated in side control. He's going to get a Russian collar tie move there on my arm, and I'm going to go ahead and strip the grip right here, setting him up for the cross collar drag position. So I'm going to pull him past with my right arm. I'm going to underhook his leg with my left arm, because if I miss the collar drag like I did here, he didn't go down, I'm able to get the single leg, come up for the single leg. I'm going to trip his leg, but he's able to switch his hips faster than I am, and now he gets into the top of a half guard position once again. So now that I'm in this half guard position, this is actually how you don't want to play half guard, because I'm flat on my back, his knee line is almost clear on his right leg, and he's putting a lot of cross face pressure against my chin with his left arm. So I need to pull his knee back down, get my knees above his knees, and then turn to my side and start playing a more dominant half guard position. He recognizes that and starts grabbing my own lapel to force me back down on my back, and then cartwheels over the guard into the side control position again. So all that work I did moments ago ended up right back here, but it's still good practice and still good for people to see how to get out of side control, get into the half guard, and then get out of a dominant position. He's starting to feed my lapel around my neck, and before I realize it, he's going to get the choke here for the tap. So what I should have been doing is paying attention to him lifting that lapel over and around my neck, but I was so focused on framing, and that's honestly the time you should explode. When someone starts using that lapel around your own neck, you need to explode. You need to get out of that position because the choke is coming, and here I didn't read it fast enough and I got submitted. So he tries to go for the ankle picks here. I'm able to stop that, and I try to force his head down and try to get him into a turtle position. He's not going for that. He's just going to end up standing back up, and now it's going to be the fight of grips. So what I want to do is I want to grab my cross collar grip and then grab the back of his tricep, and he's going to try to set up his own grips for his own positions that he wants. So right here, he's able to sit into a slick armbar position right there. He comes up on the single leg, and then he's going to trip my leg out from under me, forcing me to my back. I try to kind of shrimp away. He's trying to get to the armbar position here. He ends up just coming up on top into a north-south position here. But now that I realize I have his arm trapped, I can now push his head inside the pocket and try to get a reverse triangle position. This is a position that I'm normally not in, and this is just a weird position. I lock the triangle right here, and I don't even know what is going on. If somebody were to walk in, it's like, what the hell is even that? So now that I'm in this weird position, I'm going to try to turn it into a position I understand a little bit better by getting to my knees and trying to get the triangle from the mount position instead of the north-south, sideways north-south position that we were currently in. So here, now that I'm able to get into the triangle from the mounted position, I'm going to make sure that it's nice and tight, but I'm going to get greedy here and start attacking the Kimura as well, instead of just focusing on finishing the triangle. And in doing so, in attacking that Kimura, I lift up and relieve the pressure, and he's able to slip out the bottom. So I lose the entire position because I decided to go for 2 submissions instead of focusing on one that was pretty much locked in. So here he's on his side now, and I'm trying to force him back to his side so I can, you know, recover some semblance of a dominant position. He's going to do a good job of playing a turtle position and keeping his head in front of me, preventing me from spinning to the back. And when the time is right, he's going to sit into a seated guard position, grabbing the grips that he wants. And I'm going to use that time to get the cross collar X passing position. He's going to Granby roll. I'm not able to slow it down to the point where I can be dominant, and he's able to get into his spider guard playing position here. And what he's going to do, I know he plays a lot of shin on shin like me from spider, and he's going to start playing it so intently, and I'm so focused on it that I miss the opportunity to defend the triangle. And he locks up the triangle, and he starts getting the arm wrench, and I'm just going to tap because I'm working on some shoulder issues there. So he gets the tap because I was so focused on not getting swept by the shin on shin that he attacked the triangle and got the submission. So here now we're standing once again, and I'm going to pull into guard this time, and I'm going to pull into close guard, old faithful I like to call it, close guard position that I really enjoy. And now that I've got his arm trapped, his posture is kind of broken, I use that lapel to bring his arm across the center line, and now I'm going to start setting up my sweeping position. I start grabbing his lat, trying to grab his lapel, his gi, and now I'm going to angle into this back taking pendulum position. His arm is trapped, and now I'm starting to come up, and I underhook his leg, get the pendulum sweep, and start to turn it into a back taking position. Gift wrap the arm, start sitting into a back taking position. I'm going to sit over my hip and try to take the back. He's going to defend, and that is going to be the end of the roll. I didn't get to finish the back taking position there, but I was able to kind of set it up from that close guard position. So let's get right into these takeaways. When you're on the bottom of side control, however you got there, make sure you're focusing on building your frames, framing against the hip, framing against the neck, creating space so you can get back to your half guard and back to your close guard. I know the buggy choke is cool from the bottom, everybody's doing it now, but focusing on these frames, especially if you're a lower belt, will carry you longer in the long run than just focusing on trying to get submissions from bad positions. Focus on those frames and get back to your guard. So for the second takeaway here, don't get too greedy with your submissions. I had a triangle locked in. I even adjusted it by grabbing my foot, and instead of trying to finish that triangle, I just automatically start going for the next submission instead of focusing on the first one. And in doing so, and going for that Kimura, I let up the pressure, and he's able to slip his head out, and I lose both submissions. So for this takeaway, just focus on one submission. If you can't get it, then start going for the second one. Don't lock one up sloppily and then try to go for a second one, because you end up losing both like I did here. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for supporting the channel. It truly does mean a lot, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.